First, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 News at midday.
Good afternoon. We are starting with breaking news right now. We have confirmed 3 children are from the same family, all dead, hit by a truck while trying to get on their school bus this morning. These children are twin 6-year-old brothers and a 9-year-old sister. This all happened on State Road 25 north of Rochester. You're looking at the truck right there. WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon is live in Rochester right now. Caitlin, such a horrible scene. The officers have closed this road, had in fact, since the accident happened about 7:15 this morning.
Bob, just like you said, this has been a busy scene all morning. If you look here behind me, you can see the school bus as well as the pickup truck that was involved in that accident. And you can also see dozens of officers who have been here for hours. A police helicopter actually just left the scene. All of those officers trying to figure out just what led up to those 3 children being hit and killed. Sergeant Tony Slocum with the Indiana State Police says 4 kids were crossing the road to get on their school bus, which was headed north. He says the bus had flashing lights on and the stop arm extended, and that's when a woman driving south in a pickup truck hit the children. One of the children was airlifted to a Fort Wayne hospital, and the other 3 died at the scene. Their father confirmed they are his children.
I just can't imagine that pain. I haven't seen troopers cry in a long time, but I saw that today. Our heart just breaks for him and his family, and it's just a terrible situation we're having to deal with. But we'll do the best we can, and our prayers go out to those family members.
Slocum says the driver of that pickup is cooperating with police, but I spoke to a neighbor on this road who says this road is dangerous. She's had dogs hit here on this road. I'll tell you what she'd like to see done about this road, IN-25, tonight at 4 o'clock. Live in Rochester, Caitlin Connon, WSBT 22 News.
All right, Caitlin, thanks very much. And continuing our team coverage, WSBT 22's Brooke Daniel is at Mentone Elementary right now. Brooke, 3 of the victims were students there.
Yes, people have been coming in and out of this school all morning. One of the preachers that just left the building that declined to go on camera told me he had spent his morning counseling grieving students in this building. The 2 twin brothers, the 6-year-old boys and the 9-year-old sister, all attended school here. Now, the school officials have been told by people leaving the building, the superintendent and another clergy member are at this elementary right now. We spoke with a neighbor that runs a daycare beside the school, and she also has grandchildren that attend here.
Devastated, and I've lost a child, so I can't even imagine what these families are going to be going through. It's just heartbreaking. And it's scary. You know what? My grandchildren and none of these children ride the bus, but what if it was them, you know? It just makes you stop and think.
Now, school officials released a statement. They declined to go on camera, but released a statement earlier today. The statement saying, "We have deployed all school counselors to meet the emotional needs of staff, students, and parents." Now, they also continued in that statement to ask for prayers for the family involved, the students, the teachers, and everyone in the community. Live in Mentone, Brooke O'Daniel, WSBT 22 News.
And again, along with these 3 children, another 11-year-old unrelated to those 3 children has been airlifted to a Fort Wayne hospital, remains there in critical condition. Stay with WSBT 22 News for continuing coverage of this morning's deadly bus stop crash. We will have updates throughout the course of the afternoon on our website, our social media, as well as live team coverage beginning WSBT 22 first at 4.
You want to get to more now on that breaking news that we brought to you at the top of the newscast. A small Fulton County town is shaken after 3 young children were killed trying to get on their school bus. A 4th child was seriously hurt. 6-year-old twin boys Xavier and Mason Engel and their 9-year-old sister Olivia Stahl were hit by a pickup truck. WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon is live along State Road 25 north of Rochester right now. Caitlin, how is the boy who was hurt in that crash doing this afternoon?
Jennifer, last we heard he is in surgery. He was airlifted to Parkview Memorial Hospital in Fort Wayne. 11-year-old Maverick Lowe was also hit by that truck right here in front of his neighborhood. Police say all 4 of those kids were hit by 24-year-old Alyssa Shepard of Rochester. Police also tell us the school bus was stopped, had its lights on, and its crossing bar fully extended. Shepard was not arrested, and officers say she has been cooperating with the investigation. Indiana State Police troopers were here on the scene for hours today, and that investigation certainly takes its toll.
Part of us died today too, just like you guys and gals. We're all human beings, right? We do things like this by choice. It's our chosen profession, but that doesn't mean we don't cry and that we don't hurt and we don't go home and wonder what we've done with our lives and why we do what we do.
Of course, those officers aren't the only ones having a hard time with today's tragedy. I spoke to one mom whose daughter was on that school bus at the time of the crash. I'll tell you what she remembers about Xavier, Mason, Olivia tonight at 5 o'clock. Live in Fulton County, Caitlin Connon, WSBT 22 News.
I just can't imagine that pain. I haven't seen troopers cry in a long time, but I saw that today.
An unthinkable tragedy. Right now, state police are investigating after 3 children from the same family were hit and killed while trying to get on their school bus. It happened in rural Fulton County.
WSBT 22 has team coverage of the investigation into that crash. Brooke O'Daniel is live outside Mentone Elementary School, where the victims were students.
But we begin with Caitlin Connon, who is live near the scene of the crash on State Road 25. Caitlin, charges have just been filed against the driver.
24-year-old Alyssa Shepard now faces 3 counts of reckless homicide and 1 count of passing a school bus resulting in bodily injury. That crash killed 6-year-old twin brothers Mason and Xavier Engel and their 9-year-old sister Olivia Stahl. That crash also sent 11-year-old Maverick Lowe to the hospital. Here's what we do know tonight. Police say the bus was stopped with its lights and stop arm activated. The truck was coming in the opposite direction. That's when police say 24-year-old Alyssa Shepard hit the 4 children. I spoke to parents in town who are completely shaken by the crash, and one of those moms puts her daughter on the bus at the stop right before Xavier, Mason, and Olivia's.
I didn't really know them that well, but smiles on their face whenever I saw them. So they were always, you know, they were good kids. Kids are kids, and we just need to love them all and be happy for the day that we do have them.
Coming up tonight at 5:30, I'll tell you why police say even though they've cleared this scene, their job is not done. Live in Fulton County, Caitlin Connon, WSBT 22 News.
WSBT 22's Brooke O'Daniel continues our team coverage.
She's live at Mentone Elementary School, where the 3 victims went to school. And Brooke, obviously an emotional day for people there.
As you can imagine, there was a feeling of sadness when parents walked their students out of the school today. Counselors were here at the school today to help the students cope with the loss of 3 lives.
I don't know what to tell them. They've lost their friends, their kids. It's not right.
Jackie Bradley raises children that attend school at Mentone Elementary.
I have 3 other grandchildren that are best friends with the 3 that died and the 1 that was airlifted.
Her grandchildren ride the bus every single day with the students that died. In fact, they are the very next bus stop.
Everybody's upset, sick, sad, very quiet.
Judy Smith runs a daycare beside the school.
We're just devastated, and I've lost a child. So I can't even imagine what these families are going to be going through. It's just heartbreaking.
And says a loss like this makes you think about your family.
And it's scary. You know what? My grandchildren and none of these children ride the bus, but what if it was them, you know? It just makes you stop and think.
She doesn't know how she's going to explain this to the children she watches after school.
You know, it's hard enough as adults to process something like this. I mean, it's going to be impossible for children to ever be able to comprehend what this loss is going to be for them.
Jackie says this accident will have an impact on her grandchildren for years to come.
They're well loved, and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of patience, and they might have nightmares for a while.
Now, right now, officials are still declining interviews about the accident, but the school did release a statement. It focused on finding out more details about the accident and also asking for prayers for the family, the victims, teachers, and the community. Now, I spoke with a woman whose husband coached 9-year-old Olivia's softball team. Tonight at 6, I'll have more on how she's remembering this little girl. Live in Mentone, Brooke O'Daniel, WSBT 22 News.
And make sure you stay with WSBT 22 News as we bring you the very latest details on this investigation into the crash. You can always find the newest information on our website, WSBT.com.
First, fast, accurate with Jennifer Copeland and Todd Connor. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 5:30.
My grandchildren and none of these children ride the bus, but what if it was them, you know? Just makes you stop and think.
Tragedy rocking our community. Right now, state police trying to figure out what led up to a crash that killed 3 children.
Police say they were trying to board their school bus at the time that this had happened. WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon is live near the crash site. This is on State Road 25 in Fulton County. Caitlin, charges have now been filed in this case.
Jennifer, 24-year-old Alyssa Shepard now faces 3 counts of reckless homicide as well as 1 count of passing a school bus resulting in bodily injury. That crash killed 6-year-old twin brothers Xavier and Mason Engel and their 9-year-old sister Olivia Stahl. That crash also sent 11-year-old Maverick Lowe to the hospital. Police say the children were hit by Shepard as they were crossing the road to get to their school bus. Police say the bus was stopped with its lights flashing and crossing arm extended. Shepard was headed in the opposite direction when police say she hit the kids. Again, those charges against Shepard were just filed this afternoon. That investigation that led up to those charges took a toll on officers and the entire community. You can hear how they're coping with this terrible tragedy tonight at 6. Live in Fulton County, Caitlin Connon, WSBT 22 News.
And WSBT 22's Dane Murray continues our team coverage. Reaction obviously pouring in on this tonight.
Jennifer, this is making headlines across the nation tonight, and state leaders are sending their condolences as well. Governor Eric Holcomb tweeting, "Words cannot express the depth of sorrow Jana and I feel, which only pales in comparison to what family, friends, teachers, classmates, and the community are feeling right now. Today and for many more to come, we mourn their loss." We also heard from Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly, who tweeted, "Devastated to hear about the horrible news in Fulton County this morning. My prayers are with the entire Rochester and Fulton County communities who have lost 3 children, with the 4th in critical condition." NDOT also sending this reminder about driving safely around school buses. Remember, you have to stop when a school bus stops unless you are on a divided highway and going the opposite direction of that bus. And make sure to stay with WSBT 22 as we continue to follow the very latest in this investigation. Another live report from the scene is coming up at 6. Todd and Jennifer?
Dane, thank you.
First, fast, accurate with Jennifer Copeland and Todd Connor. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 6.
New details at 6 on breaking news in Fulton County. Late this afternoon, the prosecutor's office charged 24-year-old Alyssa Shepard in a deadly accident involving kids trying to get on a school bus. She's facing 3 felony counts of reckless homicide and a misdemeanor count of driving around a school bus causing bodily injury.
The victims who died are from the same family, twin 6-year-old brothers and their 9-year-old sister. An 11-year-old boy is in the hospital tonight. This all happened this morning on State Road 25, just north of Rochester.
We begin our team coverage with WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon. And Caitlin, that community is also hoping for the recovery of another young boy.
The accident killed 6-year-old twin brothers Xavier and Mason Engel, as well as their 9-year-old sister Olivia Stahl. But it sent 11-year-old Maverick Lowe to the hospital. As this community prays for Maverick's recovery, they also have to come to terms with the loss of Xavier, Mason, and Olivia.
It was just not knowing what had happened and how everyone was for a half hour. That was terrifying.
Tamara Mejia's daughter was on that bus those children were trying to board.
I didn't really know them that well, but smiles on their face whenever I saw them. So they were always, they were good kids.
Police say the kids were crossing State Road 25 to get on the bus. It had its flashing lights on and crossing bar extended. Police say that's when 24-year-old Alyssa Shepard, heading the opposite direction, hit all 4 kids with her pickup.
Kids are kids, and we just need to love them all and be happy for the days that we do have them.
Officers investigating also struggled with today's tragedy.
This is not normal, seeing 2 little boys that are twins laying there, just not normal.
Officers say Xavier, Mason, and Olivia's dad confirmed they were his kids.
I just can't imagine that pain. I haven't seen troopers cry in a long time, but I saw that today. Our heart just breaks for him and his family, and it's just a terrible situation we're having to deal with.
Slocum and Carter say they spent hours at the scene today trying to make sure they did everything right, trying to make sure they get answers for the parents whose 4 little kids were just trying to go to school.
Just because we're leaving doesn't mean we're done. What that means is we're leaving, we're just getting started.
Police told me Alyssa Shepard has been cooperating with the investigation. She now faces 3 counts of reckless homicide as well as a count of passing a school bus resulting in bodily injury. The Fulton County Jail says she is being processed into the jail right now, but we have not heard about any court dates. Live in Fulton County, Caitlin Connon, WSBT 22 News.
All right, Caitlin. WSBT 22's Brooke O'Daniel continues our team coverage tonight.
She is live at Mentone Elementary School where the kids attended class. Lots of emotion there today, Brooke.
Yes, overwhelming sadness and disbelief from the parents I spoke with today. The school brought in counselors to help the students cope with their grief. A reminder that this school now has 3 empty chairs. Mentone is a small town where everyone seems to know each other. I spoke with Jessica Thompson. Her husband, he coached 9-year-old Olivia Stahl's softball team this spring. She says the little girl was a joy to be around.
She was just very sweet and loving. I don't think that I'd ever seen her frown while she was out there. Of course, we were winning most of the time, so smiles were to be had. But she was just a very caring little girl. She would come up to you and give hugs and high fives and just ask her how she's having fun and just smiles everywhere.
Olivia is pictured here in the glasses. Jessica said, well, that the girls played all of the positions. Olivia played a lot at third base. Now, the school declined any requests today for interviews, but they did release a statement earlier today. That statement asked for prayers for the family, students, and staff. Live in Mentone, Brooke O'Daniel, WSBT 22 News.
And make sure to stay with WSBT 22 on air and online for the latest on the investigation into this morning's crash. We'll have updates throughout the night on our website and social media and live reports tonight at 10 and 11.
First, fast, accurate with Todd Connor and Dane Murray. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 11.
And new at 11, tragedy hitting close to home and making headlines across the country tonight. 3 children are dead and another is critically injured.
They were hit by a pickup truck while crossing a state highway to get onto their school bus. The accident killed 6-year-old twin brothers Xavier and Mason Engel and their 9-year-old sister Olivia Stahl. 11-year-old Maverick Lowe is in a Fort Wayne hospital. His mother posted on Facebook that he's undergone 3 surgeries but is doing well tonight. We have team coverage of this heartbreaking story, beginning with the latest on the investigation.
24-year-old Alyssa Shepard has bonded out of jail. She faces 3 felony counts of reckless homicide and a misdemeanor charge of passing a school bus with the stop arm extended, causing injury.
It's everyone's responsibility to make sure our children get to and from school safely. And when it doesn't happen, which did not in this case, it's heartbreaking.
Police say Shepard hit the 4 students with her pickup truck as they were crossing the road. She was heading in the opposite direction. Investigators tell us the bus did have its lights on and stop arm extended.
The father confirmed that the 3 were his children, and I just can't imagine that pain. I haven't seen troopers cry in a long time, but I saw that today.
The rest of the state is mourning along with this small community.
You know, part of us died today too. Just like you guys and gals, we're all human beings, right? We do things like this by choice. It's our chosen profession. But that doesn't mean we don't cry and that we don't hurt.
Shepherd will be in court in a couple of weeks, and tonight we are told the NTSB is launching a team to investigate the crash.
The uncle of the children who died says the family is trying to come to terms with what even happened. WSBT 22's Max Lewis is at the live desk. And Max, this is a really close family.
Yeah, it is, Dane. Elgin Ingle says his niece and nephews were happy and sometimes shy kids. He says they were their parents' entire world. Now, his nephews Xavier and Mason were typical boys who liked playing with monster trucks and going fast. He says his niece Olivia was like a mother to her two younger brothers. She would always walk them to and from the bus, holding their hands as they crossed the street. He just can't believe that they are now gone, and he has a message for Alyssa Shepherd, the woman who police say struck and killed his niece and nephews.
3 children who had a great future, smart kids. That's over now because you didn't pay attention. I hope you take that with you to your grave.
And the family told me they have no funeral plans at the moment. However, they have started the GoFundMe page for future expenses. At the live desk, Max Lewis, WSBT 22 News.
Big changes following a tragedy. School leaders in Fulton County moving a bus stop after 3 kids were killed boarding their school bus.
And neighbors say the scene of that crash is known for being a trouble spot in their community. What they say makes it such a dangerous area. WSBT 22 News at 5 starts right now.
First, fast, accurate with Jennifer Copeland and Todd Connor. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 5.
I'm proud of her. I mean, split second in a very long time to decide, and when you decide to put yourself in front of your brothers, that's character you don't find in a lot of adults. She's a hell of a girl.
Happening right now, people all across the community are remembering 3 children killed while trying to get on their school bus. NTSB investigators just arrived on scene trying to piece together what happened in the moments before the crash.
And we have new information just into the newsroom in the past hour. The school district is changing the stop where the kids were killed and looking at others throughout the district. We begin our team coverage with WSBT 22's Brooke O'Daniel. She is in the newsroom tonight digging deeper into the investigation. And Brooke, you were able to listen to the court testimony that led to charges against the driver.
Yes, I just received the audio of Tuesday's bond hearing, and the testimonies are heartbreaking to listen to. A detective with the Indiana State Police testifying as to what the bus driver told her at the scene. Bus driver Robert Reed had driven the route for a couple of years and told the detective that he always made sure no vehicles were coming and then would wave the kids across the street. On Tuesday, he told the detective he looked and there were no vehicles, but he did see a vehicle in the distance quite a ways away. He told her, quote, he didn't have any reason to think they would blow the stop. He described them as pretty far away, but in sight. So he told the detective he went ahead and waved the kids across. But then as they were crossing, he realized that vehicle was not stopping. He said at the last second he hit his horn, but there was nothing he could do. Now, the driver of the truck, 24-year-old Alyssa Shepherd, has been charged with 3 counts of reckless homicide and 1 count of passing a school bus when armed signal device is extended, causing bodily injury. I talked with Fulton County Prosecutor Richard Brown at his office today. While he declined to go on camera, he called this an unbelievable tragedy and told me that if Shepherd is convicted on the current charges, the maximum sentence is 19 years. Tonight at 6, I will have what Shepherd told detectives at the scene of the accident. At the live desk, Brooke O'Daniel, WSBT 22 News.
Our reporters at the scene of yesterday's deadly crash heard from many of you who said this stretch of State Road 25 is dangerous and often the scene of accidents.
NDOT responding to those claims tonight. Officials telling WSBT 22 there have only been 3 accidents in the past 3 years on State Road 25 between County Roads 350 and 500. However, NDOT says it does not track accidents involving animals or near misses, so there could be more issues on the road it is not aware of.
WSBT 22's Caitlin Conning continues our team coverage tonight. And Caitlin, those dangers and the accident have prompted the school district to actually change that stop.
Dane, starting tomorrow, the bus stop where those kids were killed will be moved inside of Miser Mobile Home Park. In addition, the superintendent says that he's forming a safety review committee to look at all of the other bus stops in the district. That particular bus stop is located on a state highway with a posted speed limit of 55 miles per hour. But the people who live there say the curves on the road make everything just a little more dangerous.
Because a box truck was speeding.
Monica Manuzak has lived on State Road 25 for half a decade. She says 2 of her dogs were killed along that highway.
He was hit way over at that house and ended up over here. That's how hard and how fast that guy was going.
Manuzak says she's also had trucks end up in her yard that couldn't negotiate curves.
My son, his friend's car was hit in our driveway as they were turning in because the guy was going so fast, and he was going so fast he ended up all the way down by the river, coming from that direction.
Manuzak says her grandkids were set to move in over the weekend, but Manuzak's daughter changed her mind at the last minute.
She's like, Mom, you've been saying it for years, that what's it going to take? Is somebody going to have to die on that road before they finally do something about the speed?
Officials with the Indiana Department of Education say it's up to individual school districts to decide where to put bus stops. One viewer told me the bus used to pull into the mobile home park instead of picking up the kids on the highway. Starting tomorrow, Tippecanoe Valley Schools will put that policy back into effect. Superintendent Blaine Conley sent me a statement saying they're looking at other stop locations to ensure children are transported safely.
It just blows my mind that this had to happen, and hopefully something changes.
Superintendent Conley says his committee will also include both sheriffs from Kosciuszko and Fulton counties. He'll also include bus drivers and the president of the Board of Trustees for the school district. Live in Fulton County, Caitlin Connon, WSBT 22 News.
Happening tomorrow, your chance to remember the young victims of the crash. A candlelight vigil honoring Xavier, Mason, and Olivia is happening tomorrow night at the Mentone Youth League. That's on West Jefferson Street in downtown Mentone. That vigil begins at 7 o'clock.
The parents of the 4th victim, Maverick Lowe, released a statement today. They thanked everyone for the support they have received. 11-year-old Maverick is stable right now at a Fort Wayne hospital. They are requesting privacy as they focus on his recovery.
First, fast, accurate with Jennifer Copeland and Todd Connor. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 6.
Right now at 6, new developments late this afternoon in a deadly crash that killed 3 children at their bus stop.
Tippecanoe Valley Schools will change the bus stop on State Road 25 tomorrow, moving it into the Miser Park neighborhood. Now, we're also hearing for the first time what the woman who's accused of killing the children told investigators right after the accident.
WSBT 22's Brooke O'Daniel is at the live desk. And Brooke, you've been listening to the court testimony that led to charges against 24-year-old Alyssa Shepard.
Yes, we just received the oral recording of the initial hearing held on Tuesday, and the testimonies are hard to listen to. The detective with the Indiana State Police spoke with Shepard and a witness driving in a vehicle behind Shepard. Shepard told police that she had dropped her husband off at work and had 3 children in the back seat of her car. She said she was dropping her brother off at her mom's house so he could get changed and go to school. The detective testified that Shepard said she came around that corner. She saw there was something with lights. She did not recognize it immediately as a school bus. In fact, she said she's trying to figure out what it was. The detective says by the time she realized, the kids were right there in front of her. Now, another woman driving behind Shepard told officers she saw the bus clearly. She said she started to slow down and realized the pickup truck in front of her was not slowing down. She said that the truck's headlights illuminated the children as they were crossing the highway. Now, the judge clarified that the witness driving behind Shepard could unequivocally see the bus when she came around the corner. The detective said yes, and quote, she could clearly see it was a school bus. The bus driver told investigators he realized as the kids were crossing that the pickup wasn't stopping, but said at that point there was nothing he could do. At the live desk, Brooke O'Daniel, WSBT 22 News.
As we mentioned at the top of the newscast, Tippecanoe Valley Schools is moving the bus stop where these children died. District leaders say they may move others. WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon is live in Rochester. And Caitlin, people who live on State Road 25 say it's a dangerous road.
Dane, those people say there are blind curves in the area and driver speed in that area. And many people have asked us, why did those kids have to cross a state highway to get to their school bus? District leaders say they won't anymore. Beginning tomorrow, that bus stop is going to be inside the mobile home park. The uncle of the children who died told us the family has repeatedly asked for that stop to be moved. The superintendent says he will also create a transportation safety review committee to check on the safety of other bus stops. That committee will include the sheriffs of both Fulton and Kosciuszko counties. But for some people who live on that highway, this change was a long time coming, but more is needed.
What's it going to take? Is somebody going to have to die on that road before they finally do something about the speed? Because 55 is ridiculous for the curves on this road.
The National Transportation Safety Board is in town today doing an investigation on this crash. Those investigators were not able to give me an update this afternoon, but I've been told they'll be looking at the roadway itself, the school bus, and the truck that hit those 4 children. Live in Fulton County, Caitlin Connon, WSBT 22 News.
A candlelight vigil honoring Xavier, Mason, and Olivia is happening tomorrow night at the Mentone Youth League. That's on West Jefferson Street in downtown Mentone. The vigil starts at 7 o'clock.
The school bus crash in Fulton County is putting the spotlight on student safety as they walk to school, too. Elkhart police have additional officers patrolling school zones. They were in a school zone on Benham Avenue today in front of Roosevelt Steam Academy. Officers pulled over drivers who were not following the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit when school zone signs were flashing.
It's more about bringing awareness, reminding people that, hey, those flashing lights for the school zone are there for a reason. You do need to slow down. The reduced speed limits are there for a reason. It's all about safety and getting the kids to and from school safely.
Drivers were given a warning or a ticket depending on the situation.
New details on what happened in the moments before 3 children were killed getting onto their school bus.
Investigators testified that 24-year-old Alyssa Shepard told them she didn't see the kids until it was too late. Police have charged her with reckless homicide in the deaths of 6-year-old twins Xavier and Mason Engel and their 9-year-old sister Olivia Stahl. 11-year-old Maverick Lowe is in stable condition tonight after surgery for his injuries.
Shepard told police she dropped her husband off at work and had 3 children in the backseat of her pickup. She said she was dropping her brother off at her mom's house so he could get changed for school. The detective testified that Shepard said she came around that corner and she saw there was something with lights. She did not recognize it immediately as a school bus. In fact, she said she's trying to figure out what it was. The detective says by the time she realized the kids were right there in front of her, a woman driving behind Shepard told officers she saw the school bus clearly, but realized the pickup was not slowing down. She said the truck's headlights illuminated the children as they were crossing the highway. Investigators say the bus driver told them he saw a car in the distance, but didn't have reason to think the driver would not stop. He said at the last second he hit his horn, but there was nothing he could do. Shepard faces up to 19 years in prison if she is convicted.
Yeah, we've also learned that Tippecanoe Valley Schools is moving the bus stop where those kids died beginning tomorrow morning, so just in a matter of hours. That stop will be moved inside the Miser Mobile Home Park. Superintendent Blaine Conley says he will also create a safety review committee with district leaders and the sheriffs of Kosciuszko and Fulton counties. They'll look at the other stops in the area to see if they are safe. People who live along State Road 25 say they're happy the stop is moving, but more needs to be done.
Before you jump, before you say, I think I have a solution. I don't know what the solution is at this point. I'm willing to look at everything and see if something needs to be done and to work with school officials and the department and the state police in order to find what's the best thing.
The National Transportation Safety Board is also investigating the deadly crash. Investigators will look at the roadway itself, the school bus, and the pickup truck that hit those children. New at 11 in Indiana right now, there is no requirement that school buses pick up kids on the right side of the street.
But a lawmaker says that could change. WSBT 22's Max Lewis is at the live desk. Max, this has been done in other areas.
Yeah, Dane, many states have thrown this idea around. Texas actually proposed a bill back in 2015 that would mandate buses pick up kids on the side of the street they live on, and it's possible that could happen in Indiana too. A similar incident to yesterday's happened to 7-year-old Caden Halverson in rural Iowa. After the accident, the Institute for Transportation at Iowa State University conducted a lengthy study on home-side pickups. It found it would be feasible in most cases, but would cost school districts more. State Senator Randy Head represents Fulton County. He wants to let the investigation play out before jumping to any legislative action.
Before you jump, before you say, I think I have a solution. I don't know what the solution is at this point. I'm willing to look at everything and see if something needs to be done and to work with school officials and the department and the state police in order to find what's the best thing.
And an online petition has been started by a Rochester woman to require buses to board without children crossing the street. So far, it's received more than 19,000 signatures. At the live desk, Max Lewis, WSBT 22 News.
The parents of the fourth victim, Maverick Lowe, released a statement today saying, "We would like to thank those who have prayed for our family and the families of those involved in yesterday's tragedy. Maverick is currently in stable condition. Our family is focused on his recovery at this time and requests privacy as we heal together."
A candlelight vigil honoring Xavier, Mason, and Olivia is happening tomorrow night at the Mentone Youth League. That's on West Jefferson Street in downtown Mentone. The vigil starts at 7 o'clock.
And make sure to stay with WSBT 22 as we gather new details and the latest reaction to this deadly crash. Remember, you can always find the most up-to-date information on our website, WSBT.com.
First, fast, accurate with Jennifer Copeland and Todd Connor. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 6.
The 3 children killed while trying to get on their school bus are being remembered by people who have never even met them.
Yeah, some Warsaw residents are even making signs to remind people to slow down and to raise money to help the families. WSBT 22's Brooke O'Daniel is live in the control room. And Brooke, this accident is touching people from all over.
Yes, they're buying these signs with the names of the 3 children killed. 6-year-old twins Mason and Xavier Engel and their 9-year-old sister Olivia Stahl. These signs are reminding everyone to slow down each and every time you get behind the wheel. The tragic death of 3 children on Tuesday morning has affected people that don't even live in their county.
The first thing I thought of was both my son and my daughter getting on and off the bus, and it broke me. It broke my heart. I can't even imagine what that family is going through.
So Ashley Virvat had to do something.
Me and I instantly thought, I need a sign for my road because I live on a busy road. And just a sign came to me, and so I called Robert Signs, and they were all for it.
The signs are bright yellow and remind people to slow down. And Ed Roberts was immediately on board.
It was a great idea, and with us being in the business, we told her we would just do it at cost, and then whatever profit was made would go to the family.
Even though they don't know the family personally, they want to do what they can to help.
I mean, everybody has a kid, and everybody's, we see the traffic, and there's always problems with texting and everything. So just to bring awareness and safety to their kids and show support to a family that, lost theirs.
They are hoping that these signs help save a life and provide the family some financial comfort in their time of grief.
Any burden that they may have, anything that would help them to not have to worry about anything for a long time because of the tragedy they're going through. They don't need any worries.
Now, as of this afternoon, they had sold 110 of these signs, and people are calling them from all over the country. Connecticut, Florida, New York, California. They're getting calls from all over. Each sign is $15 with $10 going to the family. You can purchase these signs at Robert Signs in Warsaw. We have more information on our website. Live in the control room, Brooke O'Daniel, WSBT 22 News.
The vigil in memory of the 3 victims has been rescheduled. It was supposed to be tonight, but is now tomorrow due to the threat of rain. The vigil will begin at 7 o'clock at the Mentone Youth League on West Jefferson Street. Through the devastation, the community wants this family to know that they are not alone. WSBT 22's Dane Murray was at the vigil, and she joins us live from Mentone. Dane, the parents spoke publicly to everyone for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Todd, through tears, the parents of Olivia, Xavier, and Mason expressed their absolute heartbreak, but they also say they are overwhelmed with the outpouring of support.
My daughter and her brothers and Maverick, the tragedy that has struck them has just been so hard for us to deal with and to cope. But to see the impact that our children are making right now for everybody across our country, and the world, as far as I know from what I have heard, it means that their lives weren't taken in vain.
Powerful words tonight from the father of 9-year-old Olivia. Michael Stahl, along with many other family members, attended tonight's vigil, all of them thanking people from around the world for their continued support.
We hear you. We appreciate your support so much. It means the world to us. My daughter would be overwhelmed and so happy by all of your support.
He spoke in front of a somber crowd of more than 400. The vigil was held on the softball field where Olivia once played. Olivia's mother and the father of the twin boys also spoke through tears as they reminded us that there are 2 more innocent victims in all of this. Maverick Lowe and their 11-year-old sister.
And about 4 o'clock in the morning, I got abruptly woken up to my daughter screaming bloody murder. And her clenching her head, saying all she can hear is the screams of her sister and her 2 brothers and her mother. And it wouldn't go away. And then she asked me, why am I still here? Why did they only take them and not me?
The mother of all 3 kids said that no parent should ever have to bury 1 child, let alone 3. And this story has touched so many people, and many from out of town were here tonight. WSBT 22's Lauren Becker spoke to those who barely know the family.
Hundreds of people were here earlier on this field. Many of them came holding candles, all to honor the 3 lives lost in Tuesday's tragedy. People started showing up 2 hours before the vigil actually started, and not everyone was from the local community. Some drove for miles just to attend the vigil tonight. They gathered on the baseball diamond, many sharing hugs as they made their way in. And as family members spoke, the community raised their candles to show support. A time that's not only tough for the family, but also everyone around them.
You could really feel the love in the community and stuff, and you could feel the compassion that they have for one another and stuff. It was really a neat experience here tonight, seeing everything and how everybody came together for the family.
I can't imagine losing 1 kid, let alone 3, all at the same time. And my heart goes out to those people and to Maverick.
Now, this vigil honored the 3 children killed, but they also took a moment to pray for Maverick, who is currently in the hospital, and a GoFundMe page has been established on his behalf, and the link to that will be on our website. In Mentone, Lauren Becker, WSBT 22 News.
And it was Olivia's father who led a prayer service for Maverick, and they ask everyone to keep him and his family in their thoughts and prayers. The pastor also spoke tonight, and he said this town is no stranger to tragedy, but together they will get through this. Todd?
Dane, certainly a lot of love in that community tonight. Thanks. And before tonight's Mishawaka and St. Joseph sectional football game, the communities came together to help the victims. New at 11 buckets with the faces of the 3 children who died were at each gate for donations. Organizers say they were heartbroken by the accident and wanted to help ease the burden any way they could. They want Mentone to know that Mishawaka cares.
So if somebody wants to donate $1, if somebody wants to donate $1,000, it's going to go to the Mentone Fire Department, and I know that every dollar will count for those families.
Organizers say they were amazed with the amount of support. They raised just over $1,600. Good for them.
All new at 5, a visitation is now set for the 3 children killed last week while boarding their school bus. The visitation for 9-year-old Olivia Stahl and her 6-year-old twin brothers Mason and Xavier Engel will be Friday from 4 to 8 at Good Family Funeral Home in Rochester. The funeral itself will be private. Now, nearly 1 week after that tragic crash, the Fulton County Sheriff is spreading a message of peace.
WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon is live in Rochester. And Caitlin, Sheriff Chris Sailors is concerned about comments going around on social media.
They've attacked Alyssa Shepard, the woman driving the truck that hit those children. Sheriff Sailors says it's obvious that emotions are running high right now, but he says violence and threats don't do anything to help. This grieving community came together to support a family who had lost so much. But that same community turned on one of its own, Alyssa Shepard, who police say was driving this truck that hit 3 children.
The family had called and said that they were getting threats on social media and otherwise, and we'd received several calls from people, not necessarily from here, just everywhere.
Sailors wouldn't tell me exactly what those callers had to say. He just said they made threats. Those threats didn't stop with phone calls, though.
Just unfortunate that social media today, people can say things and there's no recourse or repercussions. It's kind of like a, hit and run type thing.
Alyssa Shepard and her husband both pulled down their Facebook profiles after hundreds of angry people found them and spammed them with threatening comments. Sailor says that has to stop.
For everybody involved, it just keeps antagonizing things, if you will, and it's not good. It's not healthy for the community.
His colleagues with the Indiana State Police agree.
We just want it to stop because it serves no purpose, and if we have to go into a criminal investigation, we will do that, but that's not the route we want to choose.
Sergeant Slocum says he understands that people are upset.
We want everybody to go ahead and get their frustrations out, but they can do it in a positive manner without threats or causing any kind of chaos in our community.
I went to the Shepard's home today to see if Alyssa had any reaction to Sheriff Sailor's message today. A family friend there declined to comment. I also went to the church where Shepard works to see if any staff there wanted to chime in. The building was closed today. Live in Rochester, Caitlin Connon, WSBT 22 News.
Well, it is a case that captured nationwide attention. The woman accused of passing a stopped school bus and killing 3 children was in court today.
It was Alyssa Shepard's first time before the judge. WSBT 22's Caitlin Connon is here with us tonight. And Caitlin, the judge entered a preliminary not guilty plea for her.
Jennifer, that's the norm in homicide charges. Shepard is facing 3 counts of reckless homicide and 1 count of passing a school bus resulting in serious injury. She could potentially serve up to 19 years behind bars if found guilty of all of those charges. The father of one of the children Shepard hit says he's putting his faith in the justice system. Michael Stahl has had a horrific 2 weeks. His 9-year-old daughter Olivia was killed as she was boarding her school bus.
There's no words to explain it. You have struggles in life that hit you and you think that you can't get back up, and then something like this happens, and it's the worst thing in the world.
Olivia's younger brothers, 6-year-old twins Mason and Xavier Engel, were also killed. Their 11-year-old neighbor is still recovering from his injuries. As those families mourn, Stahl is trying to follow Olivia's example.
She didn't look at things angrily. She always found the bright side, the silver lining and everything, and that's the way I'm going to be. And that's the way it's going to continue to be.
Stahl says that includes when it comes to Alyssa Shepard. He told me his emotions toward her are mixed, but he says threats of violence against her and her family need to stop.
It only makes it worse. We're a lot, hold faith in our justice system. It's there. They're going to do the right thing. I believe the right thing will come, and I trust in my faith that everything will work out with his plan.
Stahl says he's keeping all the families involved in this tragedy in his prayers, including the Shepard family. Alyssa Shepard will be back in court February 5th. Jennifer?